Good morning and welcome to Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today is the 28th of October, 2023, and we're here to bring you the most significant news stories of the day. In the wake of the horrifying mass shooting in Lewiston, the suspect, Robert Card, has been found dead near the Androscoggin River, approximately 10 miles from the initial crime scene. Card's death, confirmed as a self-inflicted gunshot wound, concludes a manhunt lasting 48 hours and causing extensive disruption in the region. This violence in Lewiston, which took place at a bowling alley and restaurant, left 18 dead and 13 injured, marking it as the deadliest mass shooting since last year's school massacre in Uvalde, Texas. President Joe Biden, having communicated with Maine Governor Janet Mills twice on the evening of Card's discovery, expressed relief for the citizens of Maine and renewed his call to Congress for action against gun violence. A survivor of the ordeal, Tammy Asselin, who was tragically separated from her 10-year-old daughter and lost a cousin in the incident, spoke of her relief at the news of Card's death. Democratic Representative Jared Golden, Senator Susan Collins, and Governor Mills have all publicly expressed their condolences to those affected and call for remembrance and healing. Following the conclusion of the manhunt, hunting restrictions in Lewiston and surrounding areas have been lifted. Lastly, Card's body was discovered near a recycling center where he was recently dismissed from employment. That's the summary of the situation as it stands now. We'll delve deeper into this story later in the program. Back after this short break. Hello everyone, this is your host Emily Norma, and you're tuned into Hot Topic and Fresh News.
And joining you today is David.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Now, without further ado, let's dive straight into the hot topics.
Can you clarify more about where the suspect was found and how he died?
Absolutely. The suspect, Robert Card, was found deceased near the Androscoggin River, about 10 miles from Lewiston, where the shooting took place. His death was a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The manhunt lasted 48 hours, correct?
That's correct. It was an intensive operation causing significant disruption in the area, with shelter-in-place orders and the closure of schools and businesses.
And this was a particularly deadly incident?
Yes, indeed. The shooting took a devastating toll, leaving 18 people dead and 13 injured. It's the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. since the school massacre in Uvalde, Texas, last year.
What has been the reaction from the White House?
President Biden expressed relief that Maine residents are now safe and pledged continued support to the people of Maine. He also reiterated his call for Congress to address gun violence, stating that Americans should not have to live in fear of such incidents.
Can you share any reactions from survivors of this tragedy?
Absolutely. One of the survivors, Tammy Asselin, mentioned that while the death of the suspect brings some relief to the community, there are still many unanswered questions. As you can imagine, emotional wounds are still fresh, and the event has left a significant impact on her family and the entire community.
And what about the political response, starting with local representation?
Maine Representative Jared Golden expressed relief, stating that the community can now feel safe. He has also reversed his previous stance on banning assault weapons in light of this tragedy. It appears the incident has caused a reevaluation of gun control measures.
Are we seeing a similar response at the federal level?
Yes, we are. Senator Susan Collins from Maine has expressed her gratitude to the first responders and the relief felt by Maine residents now that the suspect has been found. This incident has clearly touched all levels of government and the community deeply.
Your thoughts on this entire situation?
It's heartbreaking, frankly. And it underscores the urgency of addressing gun violence in this country. We cannot continue to tolerate these devastating incidents. The loss, the grief, and the fear they cause are immeasurable. It's time for clear, decisive action.
What has Senator Collins communicated to the families affected by this tragedy?
Senator Collins expressed that no words can diminish the pain and shock these families are experiencing. She expressed hope that they may find solace and strength knowing they're in the hearts of people throughout Maine and the nation.
How has this situation affected local activities, like hunting for instance?
In the wake of the manhunt, hunting had been prohibited in Lewiston, Lisbon, Bowdoin, and Monmouth. Now that Card has been found, hunting restrictions are lifted, and residents will be able to hunt starting tomorrow.
And when exactly was the suspect's body found?
The body of Robert Card was discovered around 7:45 in the evening, Eastern Time. The exact location wasn't disclosed, but it was near the river in Lisbon Falls, around 10 miles from Lewiston.
What is the current viewpoint of Maine's governor on this situation?
Governor Janet Mills has reassured the public that the suspect is no longer a threat. Her announcement followed the discovery of Card's body, marking an end to a traumatic period for the community.
What are Governor Mills' thoughts now that the suspect has been found?
The governor has indeed confirmed the suspect's death and stated that he is no longer a threat. She emphasized that it's time for healing and expressed gratitude towards the law enforcement officers for their bravery. She assured that investigations are still ongoing to bring closure to the victims and their families.
Any idea how the suspect died?
According to the Maine Commissioner of Public Safety, Michael Soschuk, Robert Card died from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Is there any information about where Card was found?
He was found in the woods near Lisbon, around 8 miles from Lewiston. Interestingly, this area is near the recycling center from which he had recently been fired.
So this manhunt that has gripped the state has come to an end?
Yes, it certainly seems that way. With Card's death, the immediate threat has come to an end. However, the fallout from this tragedy and the healing process will no doubt continue for some time. Thank you for joining us today on Hot Topic in Fresh News. We've spent this episode discussing a significant event that has affected Maine's community deeply. Your support and engagement truly enrich our discussions, so please subscribe, activate notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate each share, whether it's on social media or over a coffee chat with friends. Help us bring these important conversations to more people.
Keep those digital antennas up, folks. Make sure you don't miss any of our daily broadcasts. And hey, if you thought today's episode was a roller coaster, just wait until you see what we've got lined up.
We're incredibly grateful for your time and attention. Remember, every question, every opinion matters to us. We can't wait to bring you more insights in the next episode.
And as we always say here on Hot Topic in Fresh News, Emily and David, stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.